Now, Lisdoonvarna Matchmaking Festival has been on the go for over 100 years, and this year, for the second year in a row, it is set to host singletons from the LGBT community for a weekend of fun and frolics.
An Evening with Brian Kennedy is just one of the many events taking place over the weekend, and joining us now is the man himself, Brian Kennedy, who we've just told, would you mind giving us a tune? Which is very lovely of us.
As if by magic I'm here, exactly.
Before you do give us a tune, let's talk about this weekend, because much fun and frolics to be had by all.
Yeah, I mean, the third, it's really the music part. We must say it's Matchmaker and Music Festival, of course, because as we know, it's a very traditional music, incredible music festival. And this year, as last year, it's got a wonderful twist. It's the LGBT, for those at home, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender community. But ultimately, look, no matter what you think about all the labels and everything, it's about love. That's what it says on the poster. It's all about love. So I just think it's a wonderful time in our history to be able to embrace something, you know, as so cultural and so kind of part of our fabric.
To see it evolve.
It's amazing to see it evolve. And we have to thank all sorts of people for that, like Panty, for example, who's our mistress of ceremonies on the day. And also Catherine Lynch, my good buddy, she's going to be doing comedy. I'm going to do a set of my music. So I just think, isn't it wonderful how much Ireland has changed?
Were you surprised when the LGBT community was invited? Because this is, Lisdoonvarna, it's quaint, it's old Ireland, and it sort of represents an older set of values.
Right.
And the perception would be that they would reject the new modern Ireland, and that the welcome that the LGBT community got there was actually was open-armed. It was wonderful and warm. And
it answers the question itself.
Did it surprise you?
Not really, because I have to tell you, over the years when I've been in and out of the media because of speculation or sexuality or anything, I would usually find the elder community, especially older women, would say to me, fair play to you. Just be yourself, you know, all that. So in my experience, actually older, more experienced people are more open-minded, I would say. And also, who hasn't got a gay child or a gay nephew or a gay uncle or whatever, or auntie? I mean, it's just part of our fabric.
But I know, Mark, you were saying it's quite a traditional festival, but it's also a music festival.
Yes.
And there's a lot of free spirits there as well. It's a lot of anything goes. So there is a kind of hippie vibe to it as well.
There is, and as we're discovering, you know, for the longest time we were really pigeonholed about you could only be one kind of gay person. We're discovering there's not one way to be gay. There's not one way to be straight. I call it, you know, bisexual. I call it heteroflexible. It's one of my words, you know.
I like that.
Heteroflexible. Yeah, heteroflexible. You know, there's all sorts of ways to just fall in love. And ultimately, again, the poster very clearly and quite rightly says it's all about love.
So for people who haven't been there before, whether you're straight, gay, heterosexual, heteroflexible, whatever the hell you are, if you're heading down to Lisdoonvarna, what can you expect? Because some people might be intimidated. They might be single and really looking for love and thinking, God, is this a really good idea for me? So what can they expect?
Well, you can expect all of the above. You can expect me. You can expect Panty, Catherine Lynch, and certainly a kind of an open-minded, open-armed experience. People are just saying, look, this is just taking place here. Let's see what happens. You don't have to be gay to go. You don't have to be gay to be part of the festival, actually, or part of the whole kind of matchmaking thing either. Because apparently straight people fall in love as well, I've heard.
Apparently so.
Apparently so. So yeah, don't worry. Although sometimes people exclude gay people, the gay people do not exclude the straights. All breeders welcome. Come down, you're fine.
Breeders, that's us.
It's a hideous word, isn't it?
Horrible word.
I know, because not everybody breeds, of course. Anyway.
I'll tell you something. Do you know what was very funny? I did Lisdoonvarna for the first time 30 years ago.
Did you?
Who was headlining? Can you remember?
What was it like?
I can't remember because we did a disco.
Christy Moore, probably.
We did a disco in the Hydro, right? And the thing that struck me that was really unusual was that, and as you know, there are these men who literally come down from the hills.
Yes.
Once a year, it's their
it's their big day out.
Like they spend most of the year.
Famous hill bachelors is what the term comes from.
Now, these men would be, you know, horny-handed men of the hills, as they say, and
not the way you're thinking of it.
No. But
he said it, not me.
It's an expression from literature, as you bloody well know. These guys were the best dancers I have ever seen in my life. Now, it's traditional Irish dancing, Cayley dancing, and all the rest
beautiful.
of it.
I love
but
that.
You'd see them, and you'd imagine these fellas picking up the back end of a tractor, but you couldn't imagine them being, you know, light-footed and graceful on a dance floor. It was extraordinary, and it's the greatest sense of fun. Now, I have two left feet. I wouldn't go out on a dance floor at the point of a shotgun.
You've got a good sense of rhythm, though.
Well,
if you have a good sense of rhythm, you can dance.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Are you a good dancer?
I have my moments. I've probably got about 2 moves. When I was first doing my music and everything, my little nephew used to do an impression of me, which was just basically to stand there very straight and just move one leg and throw the hair about. That's kind of my move, I think.
That's how Irish men dance.
Yeah. This is how this Irish man. Yeah, exactly. Whatever the orientation.
Well, you didn't need anything else except the hair.
Yeah, well, remember I cut it off, though.
Hair I've ever seen on a man in my life.
You don't need to dance because you can sing.
Well, that's what I do love to do the most. I mean, I love all these different excuses to gather. I mean, isn't it great in 2014 we can say to the world, Lisdoonvarna, we have an LGBT community-based music and matchmaking festival. I mean, it should be world news, I think.
Yeah, it's a wonderful story.
Yeah.
Speaking of your rather impressive ability to sing, would you give us a tune? We have just sprung this on you, so it's a bit
That's
unfair.
all right, it's a bit early. Well, one of your lovely cameramen mentioned Captured, which was my very first single. We were talking about the Bulgarians, of course, which it was inspired by. I could do you a verse and a chorus of that.
We'd love that. We'd love that.
Okay,
our cameraman's particularly happy.
Pretend I'm playing guitar, but I'm not really, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I just heard a melody, and it almost made me cry. My voice was filled with yearning, but that's not all. There's something else. No, that's not all. There's something else. Every word was in my ear, and every note was crystal clear. Oh, how you've captured my heart. Oh, oh, how you've captured my heart. Oh, is that enough?
Right, that's beautiful.
No guitar this morning. I'm clapping myself. What am I doing?
Not a song designed to be sung a cappella, by the way, but you pulled it off.
Yeah, well, I was trying to imagine myself in a wee bar there in Lisdoonvarna.
You were getting into it, I could see you, yeah.
Just
remind people, you mentioned the Bulgarians, remind people of the source of that. That's the Trio Bulgarka.
The Trio Bulgarka I went to see. 3 Bulgarian women, amazing singers. Please Google them. They were doing a concert in Hackney one night, and I was writing a song. All I had was That's Not All, There's Something Else. I went to this concert that night, and literally the first line goes, I just heard a melody and it almost made me cry. The second verse goes, you spoke to me in another tongue, and I understood all right. And that's about meeting the Bulgarians at a party later on. So that's, I normally tell people what songs are about, but Captured is about an experience of seeing a Bulgarian sing.
And if you've never heard them sing.
What a treat you're in for.
Anyway, speaking of treats, people can be treated to you in Lisdoonvarna.
Yes, 3rd to the 6th of October, the Matchmaking and Music Festival. Please come.
Brian, thank you so much, and thank you for the little bit of song.
You're very welcome.
Very impressed. Now, coming up after the break, we'll have some great chic vintage bargain looks from Shoppa Ella.